We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
They were doing this enormous lie that really was no reason for it. All they had to do is say, you know, we set a goal and we can't make it. I mean, NASA's doing that now. They said in 2016 they're going to send an unmanned probe around the moon. In 2018, never happened. It would be like throwing a feather at them. Now, why do people become violently angry if I'm throwing a feather at them? Because I'm not throwing a feather at them, because I'm right.
You really like it, don't you?
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief. If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Sibrel, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
So we recorded clear audio discussing calling the CIA to have me assassinated. Now, if they really went to the moon, that wouldn't be necessary, now would it? However, if I'm a journalist who's actually uncovering the fraud of a CIA cover-up of this enormous, terrible thing, faking the moon landing, then they would call the CIA and have me assassinated.
You want to call the CIA? Have them whacked.
We have all of this on camera. We have them faking being halfway to the moon on camera. We have Buzz Aldrin admitting on camera that I'm right by saying, oh, I'm just doing this to become famous. We have another astronaut talking about having me assassinated by the CIA for uncovering this. We have shadows that intersect at 90 degrees, which was 100% proof of electrical lighting inside of a television studio. And we have the fact that 50 years later, they can only go 1,000th the distance to the moon. And we have the fact that they deliberately destroyed all the technology to cover their tracks. All that proof that they didn't go to the moon, and people still think they win anyway. I mean, it's amazing.
Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives.
Von Braun, who allegedly, built the rocket to go to the moon, he, under this great rush to meet the deadline 6 weeks before they allegedly went to the moon, was in Antarctica retrieving hundreds of pounds of lunar meteorites. Because of the South Pole region, it has over the years received a lot of meteorites that are from the moon. And so he went there with only 6 weeks to go when he really should be, at the Space Center, leisurely picking up hundreds of pounds of lunar meteorites, which they used as fake moon rocks. Plus, NASA has a ceramics lab that can manufacture anything, including, alleged fake micrometeorites hitting the lunar samples. It's all contrived. Kelly Smith was this guy in his 20s at NASA with the Orion project, which is the alleged, equipment to return to the moon. And he's talking about the radiation belts, okay? These are the radiation belts that surround the Earth at starting out about 1,000 miles up. And every manned mission has been below the radiation belts except going to the moon. They would have to go through them.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Meaning the technology to prevent astronauts from dying from radiation in the radiation belts has yet to be invented. When I called up NASA, I said, hey, let me talk to this guy. They said, oh, no, after he made that mistake, we don't allow him to talk to journalists anymore. It is classified because if they revealed that data, it would prove it's enormously radioactive and that the Apollo astronauts could not possibly go through it. I have a source who was there when they filmed it in 1968 at a United States Air Force base, standing beside President Johnson while he watched it being filmed. They did not go to the moon. It's that simple. If people didn't have a deep emotional attachment to the moon landings, to science or to the United States, patriotism, or whatever you want to call it, they would see the obviousness of this lie.